What's up, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Activ8 Radio. And we are here to activate your mind while we entertain and educate. And hold up, we are brought to you by Reebok. So you better pump up them shoes. I've been rocking them all over the place. Reebok's been good to us, and we're going to be good to them. So
Corey, we're just trying to be a little more human.
Yeah, I'd be more human. Exactly.
Hashtag be more human. Hey, show some love for the company that supports our show and hit them up with the hashtag be more human.
Absolutely.
Let them know
and we
Activ8 Media sent you.
Hey, we just gave away some lifters too on our. I'm gonna go ahead and pick the winner tonight. And so if you missed it, you on my social media, on my Instagram, you had to like Activ8 Media, hashtag be more human, tag Reebok, and we give away some $200 Olympic squat shoes, baby. It was awesome.
That's what was used in the muscle trifecta. So if it's good enough for the trifecta, it's got to be good enough for you, listener.
Absolutely. So Fosco, also, if you're listening on iTunes, you better give us a 5-star rating and a positive comment, or Fosco's going to give you an uppercut. So what's going on in the sports world, Johnny? What's going on, Shy Town?
Dude, I couldn't believe it, man. I didn't know this was coming, but yesterday, I always have the news on in the morning as I'm working, and Dana White, John Bones Jones, Frankie Edgar, and a whole host of other UFC fighters were on Good Morning America. It was like a UFC Good Morning America takeover. And what they were doing was they were announcing the new headliner of UFC 200, which is John Bones Jones versus Daniel Cormier. Fantastic fight.
You think that's legit or what?
Well, here, I think as a fight of two quality opponents, it's a better fight. Is it as entertaining? Absolutely not. Will it sell as much? Absolutely not. Because nobody has the gusto, nobody has the itness that Conor McGregor has.
Sure.
It's just a fact. But the thing that we really need to look at as UFC fans is like New York is the media capital of the world. New York is the center of the world. And the fact that the UFC is now legal there, people don't understand how much more coverage we're going to be getting. I mean, ESPN already, I know Brett Okamoto. Brett Okamoto has been reporting MMA for ESPN for probably 3-4 years. Dude's on SportsCenter every night now. Why? Because it's legal in New York.
Yeah.
It's such a big move for the sport. And, man, Corey, I mean, you've been supporting fighters since day one. I've been in the game. So, I mean, I think this is a really big step for everybody in and around the sport.
It's a massive step. I will tell you, I watched some of the stuff with DC and Jones, and Jones talked about how, I don't know if you saw the clip on Twitter, it was epic. He was like, yeah, I'm going to send, DC home crying. And Cormier goes, I don't know if everybody else was watching what I watched, but you look like a bum the other night. Dude, Johnny, even Dana was busting out laughing. He goes, if you have trouble with OSP, you bum, I'm going to whoop your ass. That's what he said.
And John is so, let's say, immature that stuff really gets under his skin, dude.
Oh,
really gets under his skin.
Funny. He was like, you're going to have trouble with him. You're a bum. You're your ass
bum is a great word. Very underutilized.
Especially as a fighter. That's the worst to be called, as a bum.
Absolutely.
Oh, talk about your homeboy Travis Brown is on that card too. So what he's up against was against Kane. I know you talked to him the other night. So let us know what's up with Travis.
Yeah. So first off, we're debuting tonight on Activ8's YouTube channel, Hoppa Time. It's going to be a weekly show where, the idea behind it, Corey, myself, Travis, Brian Perry, we developed kind of an insider's look take. So Travis and I and Corey, we've been friends and we've been working together for over 6 years.
Yep.
And the way we communicate, we communicate like business partners because Travis is an owner of Activ8 Media, but we also communicate like friends. And because Travis is so shielded from the media, because he's dating Ronda Rousey and things have changed for him, I think this is a fantastic opportunity for people to get to know the real Travis Brown. And he's funny as hell. He's funny as hell. And so one of the things you guys are going to see tonight, amongst many hilarious subjects, I'm going to give you guys 2 subjects that you're going to laugh your ass off about. One, we talked about if Travis was on the cover of Playgirl magazine. Okay? So just wait to tune into that one because it's happening.
Yeah.
And number 2, we talked about what it's like sitting on a little small couch, like you guys all saw on social media, next to Cain Velasquez. You're about to fight the dude, and you're sitting on a little couch next to him. So Travis, he explained it, and it's exciting, man, because he's going to the biggest fight of his life, and we're going to have a weekly show with him. So you guys got to get conditioned, just like you are to our podcast, to check it out, because Hoppa's a part of the Familia. He's a leader of the Familia.
Hoppa's a great guy, and I'll tell you what, with his background coming from basketball and then into fighting and being from Hawaii, he's just a neat guy, man.
Well, Cory, the one thing that I think a lot of people who are not fight fans don't understand is if you look at anybody in the top 10 of any weight division in the UFC, you will not find one fighter who does not have competitive combat sports experience, whether it be they fought gold gloves boxing, they wrestled in college, they did USA taekwondo. Travis Brown is the only guy who has no competitive experience. The only competitive experience he has is getting in the cage in front of millions of people in the UFC. So people need to understand his combat sports age, as we call it, is very young. So Travis is still adapting, he's still learning, and he's learning how to use his body because it's so long.
He's a product of the UFC. He literally learned in the UFC.
Right. When everyone else was like Ronda, for example, she was competing at the highest level at 11 years old. She's been competing since Gunnar Nelson, all these guys, you know, Brandon Thatch, and all these guys, they started competing at 10, 11, 12 years old. Man, Travis, he didn't punch anybody in the face till he got a felony on the playground. And then, you know, that wasn't competition. So, you know, that's fantastic content, guys. And that's what we're excited about. We're going to keep bringing you content. And Core, you just launched Activ8, and you had an awesome episode with Guida, who's another partner of ours. Talk about that.
I'll tell you what, you know, obviously our podcast that we do now is quick hitter. It's PTI style. We're just having fun. And, you know, prior the podcast that I did was all interview style. And so I wanted to come up with still a show that I could ask 8 questions that were offshoot. The person doesn't know what I'm going to ask them, so they're kind of taken off guard a little bit. And I'll be honest, I think Guida had to really think about a couple of the questions that I asked them, and they were pretty meaningful. And I love the answers I got back.
Yeah.
What's he want to be known for? You know, about his hair, about like just all kinds of different things. And I've interviewed about 5 people for the Activ8 already that I've kind of backlogged that I'll be releasing. And I'm excited about that show. And just, we have our own little network here at Activ8 Media.
And we're going to keep growing it, man. And I think, Core, you hit on a great point with Clay. If you're not a UFC fan, you need to watch that episode, because here's what I'll tell you about Clay Guida. Clay Guida is someone, sure, he's a UFC fighter, but more than anything, he is the guy who has more heart, and I'm not just saying this, than anybody you will ever meet, because his skill gap between people like Anthony Pettis and Rafael Dos Anjos, he'll be the first to tell you it's enormous. But guess what? He whooped their ass.
His heart is unbelievable.
And I think we all want to get better at our craft, and Cory's interview with him can shed some light for everybody on how to step up your game in life.
Well, and what we want to do is continue to add value for you guys. So if you're listening to this on audio, you absolutely need to check out those 2 videos. I think they'll add value to your life. I mean, these are professionals that are doing well, that have both been through a lot, and they're, you know, it's fun to hear them reflect on it.
Absolutely.
Cool. Cool. Johnny, it's time for the hot seat.
Let's do it, baby.
So usually at this time of the show, we go about 3 questions each off the cuff. We don't make it up before this and just see how the other one responds, which I always like. So I'll start this time, John.
Bring it on, man.
So, John, I know you're always flexing your biceps on Instagram. But
one time.
But that becomes always now just because I saw it one time. What is your favorite exercise in the gym?
Without a doubt, dumbbell shoulder press. You know better than anyone as a gym guy, you get those genetic gifts where it's like, how the hell am I so freaking strong? And obviously we're all going to like what we're best at, right?
Of course. Yeah.
So dumbbell shoulder press for me is without a doubt my favorite because, hey, I'm human. I have an ego. I just feel like a boss when I'm doing it. So. Yeah.
Okay. Number 2, where is your favorite place by water? So what is like your favorite beach or
gotcha.
island or whatnot?
That's actually easy for me. I went to what they call the Sun Coast, which is the south of Spain. And not only is it beautiful, and you're actually super close to Africa, but the people there are primarily from the UK and Australia and from different parts of Europe. So yes, it's gorgeous. Yes, it's beautiful. But more than anything, it's fun because you get to interact with people that you would never get the chance to interact with.
Culturally.
Yeah.
Very cool. And lastly, favorite alcoholic drink of choice?
You know what, man? I'm a lightweight. I'm a self-admitted lightweight. And
bing, 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 bing. Private joke if you saw the podcast.
Yeah. So for me, as funny as it is, it's like, bro, I drink either Michelob Ultra, right? Miller 64 or Select 55, dude. I drink, my friends always make fun. Guida always calls me a little bitch.
You're so big, though, Fosco.
Water? You drinking piss water?
Yeah. It's just funny to watch a big dude like you who's tough and, kind of fiery drinking Miller 64.
Yeah, totally. Dude, like if I'm in a bar, like people are looking at me like, is that dude, something wrong with him?
That's all right. Go ahead, Johnny. Your turn.
Is your seat warm, Cory?
It is.
Okay.
It is. In the gym. I'm in my basement gym.
Oh, very nice. Very nice. As we all know, Cory is a married man with a family. What do you miss most about having complete freedom and living the single life?
That's a good, man, it's been a long time. I've been with my wife since I was 20. So I would say I've never been a person that's lacked confidence, because I think most people know that about me. But I would say that, I think that when you're single and you have that random woman or girl, when last time I was single, a girl that would come up to you, that kind of gives you an ego stroke that you're not expecting. Or you're like, man, maybe I thought she was out of my league, but she's hollering at me. Like,
yeah.
I think those are things that, from a man, like inside, you're like, yeah.
Well, right.
Chick was hollering at me. I'm cool, whatever. So I would think it's probably more of that type of thing. Not necessarily the craziness that comes with being a single person, because I got hitched up pretty young. So, and I don't really regret that. But I would say probably that extra little ego stroke that everybody likes having. So I would say that.
Well, sometimes an extra ego stroke comes with another kind of stroke. I don't know.
I left that part out.
Okay. Number 2, as you look around, obviously, every direction you look in, there's art for me. And art for me is like a hobby of mine that I don't really talk about. What hobby do you have that people don't know about?
Well, I don't talk about it a lot, but actually, we've touched on it that I've played golf off and on for a really long time. And I started hitting the golf ball, I think, in 6th or 7th grade. So I've actually played the game for a long time and actually have a real passion for it. As you know, because you like to play golf too, it's not one of those things, it takes 4 hours, 2 hours, tons of practice. it gets in the way of my weightlifting, which gets in the way of my business. It just doesn't happen as much as I would like. But I will tell you that my grandfather taught me how to golf and lift weights around the same period of time. And it was something that we both and still continue to do together when we can. And there's just a piece to it. And I think because I'm a country guy, I love being outdoors. I love how it feels to just stroke a golf shot or to be out with your friends, smoking a cigar, having some drinks. Like,
Sure.
I just think there's something cool. And I think the other thing, the reason why it's a hobby of mine that I'll have forever is because you can do it forever. I'm not going to be able to squat 500 pounds forever. I'm not going to be able to do these, but I can hit a golf shot till I'm 90. My grandfather's proved that. And so that excites me to know that I'll be the dude trying to battle for the senior championship of whatever country club I'm a member of. Like, you can be competitive for a long time and enjoy yourself and be outdoors. So I would say I have probably a bigger passion for golf than people realize.
Okay, very cool. And to end, obviously, living the entrepreneurial life, the grind that we've both chosen, it takes many things from all of us. Takes things away from our life. What is the biggest thing that living the entrepreneurial life that you live that you have lost because of it?
That's a great question, John. I would say the first one that sticks out, even though I feel like I've kind of caught up with the cool shit I've been able to do because of my success, is I really didn't have a college, plain and simple. Like, I kind of did. Meaning the experience of college. I won't say I didn't go to school, but a lot of people in college check out for 4 years.
Right.
I mean, they're fucking smoking blunts and watching cartoons.
Right.
I mean, that's and drinking and so I literally I had a little bit of that, but in reality, I had my own business at 20. So I would say I missed the fast women, the boozing constantly, but I don't regret that because that's what I chose. But if I look back what was taken away, I couldn't do those things together. Right. I chose not to, but I wasn't even able to do that. So I would say that is probably the thing that sticks out. I will tell you, with having young children, and we've talked about this a bunch of times, that there's definitely a few times that I regret, I shouldn't have picked up my cell phone because there was something that blew up and took me away from a game or something. And so I think I should have been a little maybe more mindful of that as they were a little bit younger. But, other than that, I would say the college thing is what sticks out the most.
It's so funny to end it is I remember I asked you last week about any regrets in life, and I'm kind of regret free. But the one thing I think about is I did not embark on that college experience either. Yep. That so many people, I don't talk to one person that, let's say, financial responsibility or loans aside, that doesn't look back on their college days with the biggest smile ever. Yeah. And I deprived, just like you, I deprived myself of that. I don't regret it, but looking backwards, I feel you. Totally.
But you think of it a little bit, right? Because it is. Everybody's like, if I could just go back to college.
Exactly.
It's because you're old enough to do cool stuff. You have enough money to kind of get around.
Right.
You're not a professional, so you don't really have any worries or bills yet.
Right.
And so it's literally funny because everybody says that.
It's your last hurrah, dude. It's your last hurrah.
And so what I kind of battle by that is I'm hurrahing every day.
Yeah, you're hurrahing every day in a controlled, dialed in way.
Yes. Yeah. So you're not hurrahing bottles up every day.
You're not taking fireballs. Hey, Christina.
But I would say I would rival that the freedom that we have is a hurrah in a different way. That makes sense?
Dude, yeah. I put out a video yesterday talking about listen, we earn the shit that we've gotten, but it doesn't change the fact that just because we earned it, that we should not use some of those freedoms to give back. And that's what I believe we're doing through this podcast because, Reebok's supporting us, but guys, this isn't a money play. We're truly trying to give back, and that is very rewarding.
No, extremely rewarding. All right, I think we're going to go to a fitness tip now, Johnny. Are you ready?
Well, I ain't ready until I get the double bicep or toe spike. Oh, okay. Bring it.
So, my tip today, John, because I know you're the fly king. See, John never told you that even though his favorite exercise is shoulder press, that he does dumbbell flies on the incline with like 85s or something absurd. And true story, he calls me one day, he says, "Hey, Cory, what's your biggest incline chest fly?" And so I fucking started laughing. I'm like, why? He goes, "For some reason, I'm really good at these. I did like 85 pounds for, I don't know, he said some stupid amount of reps, 12 reps or something." I'm like, "John, I don't even think I've ever even tried 40 pounds on that exercise before." Anyway, so my tip is, John, if you're doing a fly.
Okay. I'm listening very closely.
I'll segue from that story. And you're on the flat bench fly, which you see everybody in your gym doing. Most people fly out like a T and not like an arrow. Okay?
Explain. Show it.
Yeah.
Show it.
So follow me. It's like, let me scoot back a little bit from the camera. Most people fly straight down, and there's no way for their chest to even stretch, and all they complain about is, "Oh, my shoulders hurt when I do chest flies."
Okay.
When you go more like an arrow, which means your arms kind of track this way, you're able to arch and open up your chest so it will actually drop and stretch in there. So
right.
Does that make sense?
Totally.
So instead of a T, you need to have the path of the dumbbells more like an arrow. And if you think about arrowing down and open up, it'll stretch all the way into your breastbone. And then when you come up to like hug a tree and squeeze like a motherfucker. And so I would say 90% of people do this wrong. Every gym.
Cory, I have a question on that. I was always taught, and tell me if this is wrong, but like when you're working any chest exercise, especially a fly, it's shoulders back, chest out, and then let your body or your arms guide the rest. But if your shoulders are back and your chest is puffed up, you're going to develop it. Is that a fair statement?
Well, I think that what it does is it gets everything out of the way. And when you said your arms kind of guide you, if you drop them in the right path, it will just fall in there. And because all that stuff's out of the way, it's going to open up everything. Because the way that you grow your chest is by that stretch in a fly. That whole thing is stretching that muscle after you pumped it up with bench press or incline press or whatever. It's like a finishing, stretch the fascia, stretch the muscle, get it to grow.
Sure.
And a lot of people just don't get the proper stretch. So my fitness tip of this podcast is when you're doing your chest flies, don't do a T, do more of an arrow. What do you think about that, Johnny?
I like that. And I'm looking down because I'm like taking notes on my phone because I'm a big fly guy. Right?
I know you are. Well, that's what brought it up was your incline fly of a million.
Dude, I'll tell you what, man. I don't know. That's probably why I have a torn pec, a torn bicep, because I just beat the shit out of my body. You know,
because your chest flies.
Yeah.
So, Johnny, what's going on? I know you've been giving back, giving some advice, talking to a lot of people.
Yeah, I got the inbox kicking a little bit, man.
Yeah, what's up?
I actually we'll segue a little bit into addiction, but I just wanted to read kind of a cool message that I got. And it just reads like this. Activ8 Media is the best thing out there right now for myself, for my children, for my peers. The knowledge, info, and mindset you and Cory G are dropping is truly awesome. Been following and implementing it into my daily routine and actions. It's improved me so much that the owner himself of a Cadillac Hall of Fame master dealership since 1989 approached me one day after meeting him and gave me his card saying if I ever want to work for him, to call him immediately. Wow. I credit Activ8 Media with this confidence, and I want to let you guys know, keep changing lives one video at a time.
Dude, I just got goosebumps.
I mean, you know what I'm saying? It's like, and
that's why we do the show, John.
Cheers, man. Cheers to that. And And thank you for sharing that.
But see, that's the thing. Like I did an Activ8 daily. I shot like 5 of them before we got on the air. And one of them was about what the iron does for you. And what the iron did for me was give me confidence. Confidence is what makes the freaking world go round, and not fake bullshit confidence. Like you've developed yourself to be ready for the situation. And now when that guy calls that guy, he will be ready to accept that job and crush it.
Yeah.
Like that's awesome. I love it.
It is. And the fact that somebody noticed him and he feels strongly that, this was part of it. And, the one thing I want to say is I don't want anyone to get anything twisted. We're not standing here saying, oh, what we just read is because of us. No. We got that message, and all we're doing is we're trying. We're trying to help. We're not claiming
obviously, you can tell we're not high-end producers of a podcast.
Right. Like, we keep it real. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't matter what level of success we have. We're always going to keep it real. We're always going to shoot straight. And I'm going to hit one more message before we move on. And it's just it kind of just reinforces some
I'm calling this Johnny's Inbox from now on, by the way.
Johnny's Inbox. Well, Cory, if you're going to give it a title, I want to give it a theme. Okay? So every time you say Johnny's Inbox, we got to hear this. Hang on. Okay, it's time for Johnny's Inbox. All right, it's time for Johnny's Inbox. All right.
I love it.
It says, hey, man, just listen to the latest podcast. Love the message of instructing family to look out for their people. Tons of docs do overprescribe pain meds. And when that happens to the wrong people, it's an absolute nightmare. Everyone's got to help these people out. And doctors have to step their fucking game up and be better for their patients and actually care. Keep it up and keep talking about it because it's reminded me and it's given me the ability to remind others. So
nice.
As he advised, I'm going to remind people again. Doctors are doctors. Doctors are not your brother. They're not your mother. They're not your cousin. They're not your father. So when they go to prescribe you something for an injury, they are not thinking about you becoming an addict and then having to deal with that addict. They are thinking about giving you something that's going to kill the pain short term, and then they're thinking about their next patient.
Yep.
So just like me and Cory have talked, and I believe, Cory, you said this to me once, and it meant a lot to me. You said, dude, none of my kids are going to be fucking with any of that shit. They're going to be taking Advil. They're going to be taking Tylenol. I ain't going to be giving them this narcotic bullshit. So that's the message, guys. And I'm doing what he asked of me, and I'm sharing with you guys again. Do not just do what the doctor says. Question the doctor, and if in a worst case scenario, the doctor prescribes, Cory, if the doctor gives your child a narcotic painkiller, I want you to literally say, why? Say,
dude,
why?
Unless his leg's falling off.
Exactly. Exactly. And this is such a goddamn impossible, no, it's not impossible, a huge challenge that we have to stick by a principle. And I think one principle that we've developed in the last 3 weeks is get tougher, because we can all get tougher. And I really think that can contribute to helping people and saving some lives. So thank you for contributing, Familia. We love you.
And John, I'm going to Snapchat the beginning of the next one just because it's going to be good. So John, you're on Snapchat right now.
What's up, Snapchat?
We got 3 tips on creating opportunities. So are you ready to let the La Familia know about these opportunity creators?
Yeah, absolutely. What?
Go ahead. I would say you talked about number one, really being about the system, Johnny. You want to explain about, so 3 tips on creating opportunities for yourself. John, number one.
Number one is get involved in a system, any system that has a high ceiling. And I've mentioned this before, but
talk what high ceiling means, John.
Yeah, absolutely. A high ceiling means Starbucks, Walmart, Target, Home Depot. We know, you know, anyone knows you can go get a job there. Anyone also knows the CEO has about 80 positions between himself and you. And those positions are your positions to go take. So if you're ass out, if you don't got a job, if you're struggling, go find a place with a high ceiling. I don't give a fuck if it's McDonald's. Get in there and kick your competition's ass and create a career.
Yeah, what I would add to that is kind of what I did and John did also is got into like an actual sales system that has a high ceiling on top of it, which is a little bit more segmented. But like for me, it was multi-level marketing. I didn't do that great in it. At one point, I built a structure that had about 1,000 reps under me, but I learned a lot of good things about how people say no more than yes. So you have to say next, and that's okay. How to approach people in uncomfortable selling situations, because in those type of, I don't want to say schemes because it's not a scheme, but those type of businesses, that's just the connotation that comes with it. They're, you know, a little bit touchy with friends and family especially. And I think the development of that type of atmosphere, like you are learning about selling in confidence. So getting into a system there literally there is no ceiling. You could have 100,000 reps under you and make $1 million if you work your ass off, or you could have 2 if you do nothing. I think being in that system is huge.
One thing I want to add on selling, and selling has always been my strong suit. It's a strong suit of Cory's. But here's one thing I want you guys to think about when selling. I believe that the process of selling stops being the process of selling if you believe in what you're selling. Because if you believe, for example, when I was selling gym memberships, right? I believed that if I sold that membership, that individual's life would be better because they lose weight, be in better shape. So in my mind, I wasn't selling. I was educating.
Yeah, it is.
Same way now. Activ8 Media, right? What we do is we sell digital services. I know that the people we talk to, if they got a better website, if they were more optimized, if they had more content,
the brand looks better.
They would get more. They would get more impressions. They would get more customers. And what does every business want, Cor? Every business wants to make more money, right? More money. So I truly don't feel like I sell. I feel like I educate, and I encourage everybody. Like, don't look at sales as sales. Look at it as education.
All I did at Muscle Farm, Johnny, was educate the customer on exercise, diet, and motivation, mindset, and they ended up buying my protein.
Right.
Amazing what happens.
Exactly. And guess what? Everybody knows the cheesy salesman. Why is the cheesy salesman cheesy? Because he's trying to sell something. He's not educating you.
Yeah, agreed. I like it. Number 2, under promise and over deliver. Talk about this importance, especially as a shining, like you're a diamond in the rough, you're new in the sales organization or just organization in general. As a manager, John, tell me what you think of guys that are doing that.
Anybody who has the intuition to under-promise and over-deliver is somebody that, as a manager, I want to grab, and I'll tell you why. Because the easiest way to make a sale is over-promise and under-deliver. That's easy. Well, easy in business is not sustainable.
No.
What's sustainable is not what's easy, it's what's reality. And when you under-promise and over-deliver, for example, we build a lot of websites. They typically take us 45 to 60 days. When we sell a website, we say a minimum of 60 to 90 days. And we stress 90 days. Want to know why? For two reasons. One, we don't want to lie to someone who's paying us. And two, we want them to be like, hell yeah, you guys finished before you said you would. Now, would it be easier for us to close that deal if we told them 30 days? Of course it would. But that's not good business.
And deliver it in 45 and say, oh, we're behind.
Right. Yeah. That's not sustainable business. I'm here to fucking grow a business. Cory's here to grow a fucking business. And the way you grow a fucking business is do business the right way.
You know, and not only that, like, even in when I was personal training, even when I started Muscle Farm, even Cory G Fitness, now the new supplement line that we're working on, like.
Ooh, you just dropped it.
So it always comes down to that I'm going to show you by education. I'm going to tell you about it. I'm going to let you experience it because I know I'm going to back it up. So it's like I would rather not tell you that I'm jumping over the moon. I'm just going to show you by actions. And so I love guys that work under me, that are interns, that have come into our organization that just make it happen, man. You have to give them very small amount of direction and they just crush it 2 steps more. And Urban Meyer, I was out to dinner with a small group of people once, and Urban Meyer came and he got up and talked, and that's what he said. Look, 2 steps more, 2 steps more. That's what I want. I tell you to do this and you do 2 steps more and you do that consistently. I'm always going to look to you first. That's it. Because that's what you're accustomed to. So under promise, over deliver, everybody. Number 3, understand your position in time or in the organization and be humbled, not entitled.
Right. Yeah. So
the quiet storm on that one.
So many people, whether they be college educated or not, they walk into their first job or their first career, in their mind, their first career job, and they have a level of self-importance. They think somebody gives a shit about them, and they don't realize that in business, the only thing people give a shit about is production. So you can take your personal plans, your girlfriend, your friends, the wedding you go to, you need to take off work to go to, and you can shove it up your fucking ass. Because until you prove
produce
that you've earned it, you haven't earned shit. So you've got to just check your self-importance. You got to walk in the door and you got to say this: I am nobody. But guess what? Everyone's going to know my name in 30 days. Now, until everyone knows your name, you ain't shit. I wasn't shit. You know it.
Yeah. And you can't walk in with the entitlement of, well, because I'm here and I think I'm sweet. No one else knows you're sweet. You ain't proved it yet.
I'll metaphorically give you a slap in the head and you'll be on the floor.
Exactly. So it's like, just understand where you're at in the org chart, in your career.
Right.
And look, you can have all the confidence in the world, because I'll be honest with you, I thought I was the fucking sweetest personal trainer no one knew about. I'm dead serious. I used to think to myself, why doesn't anybody know who I am? Well, shit, obviously I wasn't as cool as I thought. But I remember, because obviously, like I said, I was confident in my ability, but I just didn't realize, hey, douchebag, you need to work for a decade.
Hey, dumbass.
Yeah, hey, dumbass. You need to work for another decade till anybody gives a fuck.
Exactly, bro. Exactly. It's like,
so it happens to all of us.
It's so, dude, for sure. I was like, oh, I'm a general manager at 22 years old. Look at me. It's like, shut up, bitch. Go work more. Go get your numbers higher, motherfucker.
Exactly. Yeah. So, look, it's always cool to just be humble in general and not entitled, because the entitled people stick out like a sore thumb.
And Cory, the world owes you nothing.
The world owes you nothing. And one thing I will tell you that I grabbed from my old partner at Muscle Farm was, because he was a tweener in the NFL, so every week he had to avoid the pink slip of getting cut. And so that's how we ran the business at that point. Like, it was like, what have you done for me lately? To some degree, that's how business is. You got to constantly deliver. You got to be constantly bringing A game, and you can't really coast because if you're not going up, you're going down. There's no sideways, right, John? I mean, there's no
I agree. I totally agree. But I think if you have experience like me and you have, and the way we're building our businesses now is, yes, you have to deliver every week, but as opposed to me delivering and you delivering, we're building systems that deliver. And that is
powerful.
the trick.
Yeah, I would agree. But I think like in the back of your mind, if you think like, oh, I can coast this week, that's not the way you should be thinking. It's what can I do this week?
You're softer than shit. If that's
yes,
how you
exactly.
think.
And so just keep in mind, like, you've got to every week bring some game to the table, and then it compounds over time and it can become great. That's it.
Dude, compare it to sports. You know what I'm saying? Does any great athlete say, oh, I'm going to have easy games this week? No. Every fucking night they come out and they want to slaughter you.
Yeah, you're right. So let's review them because I think this is really good, Johnny.
Yeah, I think shit, right?
3 tips of creating opportunities. 1, get involved in a system with a high ceiling. 2, underpromise and overdeliver, motherfuckers. 3, understand your position and be humbled, not entitled.
Eliminate self-importance.
I like that. Lastly, John, let's talk about master of your emotions. I think we got to touch on this and then we'll get out of here. Talk about the key points or the importance of being able to master your emotions in business.
Yeah, for sure. So I was blessed to have a mother who was very, very in tune with emotional intelligence. And I've touched on this in a lot of different ways, but at the end of the day, if Cory said to me right now something I didn't like on the podcast, and it caused me to not bring my A game to the podcast, Cory is a puppet master with strings, and I'm his little bitch puppet. So the trick in life and in business is if someone blindsides you with a emotional punch, do not let anybody take you off your game, regardless of how much they surprise you. So expect the unexpected, and then other people will not be able to rattle your cage. Because in business, you got to come straight and focused at all times. And the really good business people, especially when you're doing deals, they're going to try to rattle your cage.
Oh, no question. It's kind of like any good NBA player that talks shit.
Exactly. Reggie Miller.
To get you off.
Watch Reggie Miller.
Trying to get you off your game. I mean, that's the key. Like, if he can get in your head, then you can't be as effective.
Conor McGregor, Jose Aldo, anyone?
That was probably one of the more epic examples of all time. Yeah. I mean, he had so much pent up pissed offness when he came out. Well, he was like face leading, wasn't he, John?
Yeah.
And just got clipped.
Unexpected it, he slipped it.
Wow. Boom. So here's the deal. People are going to throw the curveball at you. You have to first of all get out of the way or watch it, do whatever, take a deep breath, do not react, and continue your game plan. And I try to just act like it didn't even happen.
Exactly. Because then they're sitting there saying, wait, why isn't Cory mad? Cory should be pissed off. And then Cory's got a poker face, and he's like, what's next, motherfucker?
Or like, when somebody says something, if I've got something going on Twitter and I'm responding a lot, so it's obvious I'm on it, and somebody throws some fucking dumb shit at me, and I just respond back like, hey, I love you too.
Exactly. Fill him with kindness, baby. You never lose.
Because you can't say, what do you say back to that?
You can, if you respond to them, they are your puppet master. You are allowing them to bring you down.
Yeah, exactly. So master your emotions. I'll tell you what, John, we had some really good stuff this episode.
Yeah, I think this one is one that everyone needs to book. This is one that I'm going to bookmark because I think those 3 points that we hit on
really
rolling into this is some stuff that we didn't script. We never script this, but I think we really hit the nail on the head, man.
No, it was good. So
good work.
Thank you. Same to you, buddy. If you're on iTunes, only 5-star rating. You got to give us a positive comment as we climb the charts. Text your friend or 2 friends. Text them the link to the YouTube. Tell them.
Just tell them these guys are fucking sexy. You must subscribe.
Tell them to subscribe. And we want to thank Reebok for supporting us.
Yes.
We've got some exciting things coming up with them soon.
Johnny,
wrap us up.
Yeah, listen. All I'm trying to do today is be more human. I don't know about you, okay? I think, okay, because of the Reebok sponsorship, Cory and I were able to perform at a level today where we were more human. I believe because of Reebok, we be more human. No.
I know I'm more fresh now, Fosco. I know that.
What's that?
I'm way more fresh looking. I know that.
Oh, you're looking fresh. You're in the basement. I'm feeling fresh. I'm loose. I feel more human. That's all I can say. But honestly, guys, I really think there's some stuff that I'm going to go back in this episode and listen to sharpen up my game. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes stuff just flows out of Cory or just flows out of me that it's like, oh shit, we need to go back and examine that. But you guys, we didn't touch on this. You guys smashed our record for listeners on Monday's episode. So thank you so much because you are enabling the ascension of Activ8 Radio, and we smashed it. And you know what? Friday's episode is always a product of hard work, guys. You guys busted your motherfucking ass this week, and I think we did our best to deliver some content to you to ponder over the weekend. So when you go back to work Monday, you're swinging. You're looking like Triple G. You're looking like John Bones Jones meets Conor McGregor. That's what we want to do. So we are Activ8 Radio, okay? You listen to Activ8 Radio, and we're Activ8 Media too, and